Hello everyone, welcome to mvpvishwakosha. Today we are discussing 13th August 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about recent India-China development, that India-China relation concerning fertilizer supply disruptions and the resumption of flights. Okay, so what happened that China has effectively halted export of specialty fertilizer to India, okay, not an official ban, but through procedural delays in that and withholding inspection clearance for India-bound consignments and all. So that cleared, and also this includes critical categories such as water-soluble fertilizers, micronutrients, biostimulants, nanofertilizers, and controlled release variants, and also used in high-value agriculture like fruits and vegetables. Okay, and also India's imports around 80% of its specialty fertilizer needs from China. Okay, there is approximately 150,000 to 160,000 tons during June, December, and all. And also in that in India, this move comes to critical juncture, disrupting supplies for the Kharif season and soon for Rabi as well. And also this tactical response, India has pursued alternative sources of that is DAP. DAP means diammonium phosphate. And also India struck deals with Saudi Arabia, okay, and Morocco, and covering much of the shortfall. And also additional efforts include potential imports from Russia, Egypt, Nigeria, Togo, Mauritius, Tunisia, and all. So this disruption has spurred domestic capacity building with the key players like all that fertilizer companies and all. Okay, that is very important, and the exam perspective also that our dependence on China for these fertilizers and all very important. Okay, next is in that only that resumption of India-China that direct flights. Okay, India-China are poised to resume direct that is passenger flight possibly as early in this September 2025 after 5 years of suspension. So this is due to COVID-19 and geopolitical tensions, right? And also airlines such as Indigo are ready to restart service pending final bilateral agreement. And also a formal announcement may come during the SCO summit scheduled that is on that end August 2025 in China. And also in earlier June 2025, both countries agreed to expedite resumption of direct air service, signaling a role in bilateral ties. And also additionally, negotiations are underway for a wider that is trade package covering fertilizers, rare earth, magnets, and pharmaceutical, and also indicating deeper engagement beyond aviation. Okay, very important that restoring connectivity, essential step forward, rebuilding people-to-people ties, and also tourism and trade while serving the confidence-building measures that is after post 2020 border tension. Okay, and also it will reflect a strategic recalibration in the face of global economic shift and US influence and all. For example, perspective, all the timeline of flight suspension and resumption and all SCO summit linkage, all that very important. Okay, that is about recent that fertilizer supply and flight connectivity that between India and China. Recent news. Next is that is about etalinhydroelectric project, that is environmental clearance. Okay, this Etalin hydro power project that is at 3097 megawatt is one of the India's largest proposed hydropower ventures. It is includes two run-of-the-river dams. Okay, one is Dri and Talao, that is Tangon rivers in Dibang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so it will located in Arunachal Pradesh. There is a ecological importance. Some of that are located in the eastern Himalayan global biodiversity hotspot, and also a region rich in endemic and endangered species. Also, proposed construction requires a diversion of over 1,100 hectares of forest land and will lead to felling around that is almost 2,70,000 to 2,80,000 trees. Okay. And also this area is home to globally threatened mammals, that is tigers, snow leopards, musk deer, nishmitakin, and around 56% of India's bird species, including rare endemic ones and all. In this social dimension, that communities like Idu Mishmi and Adi tribes have strongly opposed the project, citing threat to livelihoods, culture, and safety. And also, the project is also brings risk like seismic vulnerability, that is frequent landslides and landslides, dammed floods due to its location and geographical nature also. Okay. So some environmental clearance journey that is early pushback and that is demand for Riogar that since 2019-20 environmentalists highlighted severe gaps in the environmental impact assessment, that EIA, you know, right? also biodiversity study and overall environmental appraisal and all. Also the Wildlife Institute of India study was critical for being inadequate. And also then in January 2023, the Forest Advisory Committee also rejected the proposal in its current form due to non-compliance, outdated data, insufficient assessment, especially around biodiversity and tree estimates. The state was advised to submit a fresh proposal. And fresh demands and expert inputs, multi-seasonal biodiversity studies and all. And also latest status, this is about June 2025 that FAC granted in principal forest clearance based on existing study and all. Okay, but very important that project and all helpful economically and all. Okay, that is about recent development, environmental clearance. Okay. Next point that is about recent RBI's notification allowing special rupee vostroaccount. Okay, very important that special rupee vostroaccount means what and all. So in this that August 12th, 2025, the RBI announced that the person's resident outside India. Okay, the person who is residing outside India who maintains special rupee vostro accounts can now invest their entire surplus balance in central government securities. Okay, including treasury bills. Okay, this all comes in economy and all. So this measure is effective immediately, and relevant operational guidelines have been incorporated into master direction on the non-resident investment in debt instrument. Okay, notably that what special rupee vostro accounts, that is holders do not need to register as foreign portfolio investors to invest via this route. However, a 30% cap still remains for investment in short-term infrastructure instruments less than 1 year maturity. Okay, so in this earlier that will come in foreign portfolio investors, that FEI will come, right? FDI, FPI and all that is a to study in economy. So that it will come. So now they can directly invest in special rupee vostro account. Okay, according to RBI. So what are this survey and vostro accounts? Vostro accounts are rupee denominated accounts that Indian banks maintain on behalf of foreign banks. Okay, so facilitating international trade settlement in Indian rupees. So it will easy the trade settlement between the that is foreign banks for facilitating the international trade settlement. It will easier that. And also in July 2022, that RBI introduced a special rupee vostro accounts to bolster the that is Indian rupee based on trade settlement without relying on the dollar. So these accounts allowed foreign entities to invest surplus balance in government securities, thus promoting use of rupee and reducing transaction friction. And also this previously foreign entities were limited to investing only 30% of their SRBA balance in short-term government securities, a restriction designed to ensure financial stability by encouraging longer-term capital flows. The latest RBI flow lift this cap, enabling full mobilization of idle rupee funds into that government securities, which can help enhance liquidity utilization, boost the demand for government debt, and strengthening the internationalization of Indian rupee. Okay, for exam perspective, all these concepts, economy perspective, that application perspective, that geo-economy strategy, financial inclusion, all that microfinancial stability, liberalization, fiscal implication, all that very important. Okay. That is about recent news about RBI and all. Next news that is about that is approval of 4 new semiconductor project by the central government. Okay, that is Union Cabinet approved 4 new semiconductor manufacturing units under the India Semiconductor Mission. Okay, these include facilities in Odisha 2 units, Andhra Pradesh 1 unit, and Punjab 1 unit. Okay, total 4 units. These projects collectively represent an investment of approximately rupees of 4,594 crore, raising the total number of approved semiconductor projects to 10, with the cumulative investment nearing rupees 1.6 lakh crore across 6 states. And notably, one of the 4 newly approved units include backing from global players like Intel and Lockheed Martin, and also signaling a strategic collaboration with the defense and technology firms. And also the approval comes amid rising global concerns on the need of semiconductor supply chain and all resilience, also especially in light of disruption caused by natural disaster and pandemics. And also India's policy push is timely in this geopolitical context, with a special emphasis on AI infrastructure and all. And also these developments were part of a broader push by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, which also sanctioned investment in metro rail and hydro project totaling over rupees 18,500 crores and all. Okay, so all these exam perspective, all these locations and all that investment and all that facts are important. Also that self-reliance in critical technology, strategic and defense applications, global supply chain resilience, ecosystem building, all that very important. Okay, that is about recent news. Next news that is about UNDP Equator Initiative, that is Equator Prize Award. Okay, that is the United Nations Development Program through Equator Initiative announced the winner of Equator Prize 2025. This year theme was Nature for Climate Action. It is special focus on women and youth-led climate initiative. So among the global winners, bibifathimaswasahayasanhgashg, that is Bibifatima Self-Help Group from Karnataka, India was one of the awardees. So this Bibi Fatima Self Group of India, that is founded in Tirtha village, Dharwad district, Karnataka. This women-led self-help group from formed in 2018 supports over 5,000 farmers across 30 villages. Some key initiatives include millet-based multi-cropping and seed conservation via community seed banks, climate-resilient and natural farming, and solar-powered millet processing units and producing value-added millets like rotis and vermicellis and all. So this collaborative with the institutions such as Indian Institute of Millet Research, Selco Foundation and Sahaja Samruddha, enhancing rural livelihoods, biodiversity and food security, and also the award includes a cash prize of US dollar 10,000 approximately, that is 8.5 lakh. Okay, very good initiative, and these facts are very important for prelims perspective and all that, very important, that Equator Prize 2025. Also one of the Indian winners, that Bibi Fatima Self Help Group Karnataka and all. Okay, and mains perspective also, these case studies and all, you can give examples and the role of nature-based solution, regeneration, agriculture, gender and youth leadership, community empowerment, and indigenous knowledge and all. Okay, that is about recent news. Next news, that is about Supreme Court and that is Election Commission ruling, that is Aadhar is not a proof of citizenship. Okay, that is in the backdrop of Bihar's special intensive revision of electoral rules. Okay, ahead of the assembly election, the Election Commission of India informed Supreme Court that Aadhar, voter ID, and ration card cannot be considered as valid proof of citizenship. Okay, so the Supreme Court concurred, noting that Aadhar cannot serve as a conclusive proof of residence or citizenship. The court emphasized that the determination of citizenship rests with Ministry of Home Affairs, while verifying electoral roll inclusion is within the that is Election Commission jurisdiction. Okay, and also this court also praised the Election Commission's expansion of acceptable or documents, calling it voter friendly as it improved accessibility in electoral revision process. Okay. So all this electoral clarification and Supreme Court's position that Aadhar cannot be conclusive proof of resident, and also citizenship determination covered by the Ministry of Home Affairs and vote friendly, all that very important, all that facts, prelims perspective and all mains perspective, all these themes and nature of identified documents, constitutional federalism and rules, electoral integrity, human rights, digital identity system limits, all that very important. Okay. Next news that is about India's recent that is retail inflation dropped to that is 1.55% in July 2025. That is lowest level in 8 years. Okay, that is mainly primarily to a sharp decline in food price and favorable base effects. Okay, that is food inflation turned negative. Okay, at minus 1.76 percent, driven by substantial declines in pulses, vegetables, cereals, egg, sugar and transport service cost, and also core inflation, that is excluding fuel and food and fuel, okay, remained stable around 4.0% to 4.12%, indicating persistent underlying demand. And also regional divergence, that is state like Punjab registered inflation as high as 3.53%, and actually inflation is rise above 4% by early financial year 2026, and also RBI maintained a neutral stance, and also political economic analysis that soft inflation, and SBI forecast that projected financial year 25-26 average that around 3 to 3.2%, much lower than RBI's earlier estimate, that is 3.7%. And also deflation alert, Telangana recorded consecutive monthly deflation. Okay, all that prelims perspective, that is retail inflation, food inflation, core inflation, inflations, all that RBI concept, all that is very important on that mains perspective also, all that disinflation, deflation, monetary policy, all that you have to share in economics. Okay. Next point that is about recent news that is regarding Prime Minister upcoming visit to the USA for the UN General Assembly. Okay. So in that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to travel to United States in September 2025 to attend the United Nations General Assembly in New York. There's a light of visit to likely meeting with the former US President Donald Trump, set amid rising trade tensions, including high tariff imposed on Indian export and all. So in UN General Assembly, very important, that is Modi is provisionally listed as Speaker for the UN General Assembly debate on September 26th, placing him amid global leaders addressing critical global issues. And also, this visit comes during the phase of strained India-US trade relation, most notably of by the 50% US tariff on Indian goods linked to India's purchase of Russian oil. Strategic importance: beside UN platform, the visit allows bilateral diplomacy, particularly on trade dispute and the strategic areas like there is energy cooperation. And meeting with Trump could be instrumental in breaking the impasse in ongoing negotiations. So all this UNGC, all that general debate on September 26 and likely to meeting with Donald Trump, all that very important. And also multilateral diplomacy, trade diplomacy, strategic signaling, diplomatic flexibility, very important. Okay. Next news that is about hauguecourt's decision on induswatertreaty. Okay. That is and also that is India's rejection of that hauguecourt's decision. It is a permanent court of arbitration. That is issued a supplemental award affirming its continued jurisdiction over dispute related to India's Kishanganga Atal projects, despite India's decision to suspend or hold in absence that is 1960 Indus Water Treaty. And also the court ruled that such unilateral suspension does not impede arbitration authority. And also India has rejected this ruling, labeling the court of arbitration as illegal and void, and also asserting that it does not recognize its legitimacy, even claiming that tribunal's formation itself was in violation of Indus Water Treaty. And also the External Affairs Ministry characterized the ruling as a charade of Pakistan's behavior. And also further, India that has declared its intent to permanently withdraw from the Indus Water Treaty, whom Amit Shah stated water flowing to Pakistan will be diverted for India's internal use, particularly to Rajasthan, dismissing hopes of treaty's revival. And also in response, Pakistan has welcomed that decision called revival of meaningful dialogue under the provisions of the Indus Water Treaty. All that very important, that permanent court arbitration, the hauguecourt and also Indus Water Treaty signed 1960, all that very important. Mains perspective, all that international law and treaty and all that federal constitutional dimensions, all that very important. Okay. Next news that is about recent that is on Justice Yashwantvarma impeachment process. Okay. So that is last news. That is a 3-member inquiry committee has been constituted by the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to investigate allegation, particularly the cash at home scandal against Justice Yashwantvarma of the Allahabad High Court. This marks the formal initiation of impeachment proceedings under the Judge Inquiry Act. And also the committee composition of Justice Arvind Kumar, Supreme Court Judge, Justice Maninder Mohan Srivastava, Chief Justice of Madras High Court, B.V. Acharya, a seasoned senior advocate from Karnataka, renowned for his legal acumen and involvement in high-profile cases. Okay, and also the challenge in the judge in March 2025, if Pirate Justice Verma's Delhi residence revealed stacks of burnt currency, a Supreme Court appointed an in-house justice panel confirmed serious misconduct. Okay, and also in this parliamentary action, that 145 Lok Sabha MPs, 63 Rajya Sabha MPs submitted impeachment notice exceeding constitutional threshold of it is 100 Lok Sabha and 50 Rajya Sabha signatures. Okay, that is initial signature required for impeachment notice. So the Rajya Sabha notice was not admitted, leading Parliament to move forward via the Lok Sabha. Parliament Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju emphasized that bipartisan cooperation and timeline Lok Sabha first followed by Rajya Sabha. Okay, so this historical significance. This is one of the rarest impeachment proceeding in independent India, and also last attempted during Justice V. Ramaswamy case 1993. And also the process moved into action under the monsoon session, reinforcing parliamentary oversight in matter of judicial conduct. Okay, all this prelims perspective and mains perspective, all this judicial accountability between legislative and judicial bodies, all that procedural integrity, all that very important. Okay, that is about last news. Okay, that is about 13th August to 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exams. Thank you.